from Dark Players. We are with Jaffo.
Hello to everyone.
We are today for another deck tech, for another showcase winner deck tech about Han Solo set 4 Jump to Leg Speed, the new Han Solo in the starter set, the Spotlight, and I didn't expect this result, so congratulations for the starter.
Thank you.
And before we start talking about his deck, his cards, and also his strategies to win, we recommend you to give a like, comment what you think about this deck. You can try it. So let's think it about it, and also subscribe to our channel to support us. So let's move on. Jaffo, talk about this deck. Why this deck?
Okay, why is a very good question. As you know, I am a fan of meta deck. In previous set, my main deck was Wattambo Yellow, so I'm quite a fan of strange deck. And with one of my best friends, David, J in the Discord server, we think about a new particular deck, and we think that this kind of deck, the Han Solo Never Tell Me the Odds, can face several situations. In some ways, it's a deck that can swarm with a very big amount of little unit, but also can face some situation creating a very good big unit. And especially in the leadership turn, we have a lot of resources to use. We start with this idea, but with a different color. We start thinking about green and Solo. But Tarkin Town, and especially the Smuggler cards, convince us to deck this kind of list. And I'm very happy about the results. I was in Milan sector, and in a tournament with more than 500 players. At the end, I was the 54, the 54 in the other chart. So a very good results for me. Top 64 with this kind of meta deck was a very, very good result.
Yeah. And so you win the showcase. You have it? Yes.
Yeah.
Show to the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very interesting to win a showcase, no? Because I feel that I deserve it. So
yeah,
very grateful. Yeah.
It's an honor. So
yeah.
Okay, let's start about the statistics, because we see a lot of odds numbers.
Just 3 cards even. The ability, the power of this reader is focused on the odds card. So I tried to make a lot of odds cards and use a very low curve. So several lot of 1 resources card unit to start with 2 units on the first turn. Then the big amount is a 3 resources card to have the mid turn very good, and just a few cards of 5 resources to have the final sprint. As you can see in the statistic page, I have just a unit even, 2 resources card. This is C3PO. It is a really very interesting deck engine for this kind of deck.
Oh, yeah.
Because using the reader power, I can see the card before use C3PO in the first turn or before attack with C3PO, so I can draw for sure.
Yeah, it's very strongful.
Yeah.
And we see something also, a lot of units. I think this deck is an aggro deck.
A bit mid. In the first turn, I have to control the board using the base, using the sanctioner, shuttle. But yes, at the end, I want to close the match in 5 or 6 resources. So in 5 turns, I want to complete the mission.
Okay,
it's a swarm deck, let me say.
Okay.
I want to go wide and wide.
Interesting. So let's talk briefing about the leader. So what is his ability, and why you choose him?
Okay, the ability is not so simple to explain. During the sector, I played with several people for all around Europe, and I have the card in Italian, so it's not so simple to explain. Now it's better because I have the text in English in front of me. The reader power is an action. I have to reveal the top card of my deck. Then, after I saw the card, it is very important that is after I saw the card, I can choose a unit and make an attack. If the unit and the card that I revealed have a different odd cost, the attack has a +1 in the attack. So it's very interesting for make trade or also to push damage on the base of my opponent. The reader, when I flip it at 5 resources, so let me say the quite normal turn for a reader that can have some success in the game. If it's a unit on the ground, it's a vanilla unit, 3/7, so a good body but no power. If I can attach as a pilot in a vehicle, the ability is very strong because I can ready the resource for each unit of upgrade with an odd cost. So considering the deck, it's very simple to ready 5 resources, so play with 10 resources in the flip reader turn. And it is amazing the way that I can build more board or push more damage in the bases of my opponent. And I use Talking Town, that is a very, very strong base that can offer me a way to control the board in the very few turns, because I have several units and just one of damage can solve a problem with Talking Town. So the basis is very important to have a control of the board during the first, second, third turn. Then I can start to push again and again the damage.
Ok, ok. So, Han Solo like his alter ego Boba Fett, stop resources and cheat the mana everywhere. But we also talk about some ban I have received today after the deck
Yeah,
break.
for sure. Just a very, very hot topic.
Yeah.
Some minutes ago, yeah.
But now, let's talk about your results from Milan. In the main, you have 6-3, 6 victory,
Yeah.
3 losses, and in the side event, 3 win and 1 losses. So, let's talk about briefly to every game with,
Yes.
which is the most difficult, the most easy for you.
Okay, okay. Was a very good result, especially in the main event. Before the starting of the sector, if you told me you want to go 6-3, I will say yes for sure. At the end, let me say, the last game I lost the last game, so with just another victory, I can get to D2. The match, yeah. Boba Yellow, the first match, I think that with this kind of deck, it's a good matchup for me. Because I have several unit, one resource with 3 and 4 HP. So the indirect damage is not a problem for this kind of deck. So I can control the first turn, I can split the indirect damage all around my unit, so it's not a problem. In this particular matchup, Commandeer was a very, very important card because before I avoid in both the game that the opponent used the reader as pilot because he never have a single ship free in the space arena. It's very important for this kind of matchup. The second game with the yellow, double yellow, was very, very close. Because double yellow is a problem. I was afraid of DJ, Tekken DJ combo, and I was, you know.
I like that was.
You know. And it was very, very close. Emphys Net was a problem for this kind of deck because I have a unit with not so many damage in a single turn attack for units, so it's not simple, and I have to close before. No, it was very, very close with an Italian guy from the Discord with Christian. It's very, very close. The third game with Anakin Colossus was amazing. 2 games without a single damage on my bases. It was amazing. And in this matchup, I confirm that one of the best cards of this deck is Zoop Down. Because in both of match, I shot Anakin with Zoop Down with my ship with Han Solo reader on it.
Wow.
So without a problem, shot it and go ahead without problem. Was a very, very amazing game. Advent Talking Town was close too. Talking Town could be a problem for my deck because I use my unit to make ping, and with Talking Town, with the opponent can defeat without a problem. And was close. Was close. I won the first one, and let me say, when I won every time the first match, the first game. This is important because when I use a off-meta deck, my opponent doesn't know or what I'm doing, no? If I'm an aggro, if I'm mid, and so on. So it's very important the surprise effect for this deck. The 5 game was on streaming, and maybe I suffer a bit the stress of the streaming. I saw my match and I made several errors. So okay, the un-1 yellow deck was quite strange with the new legendary, the Stolen, a lot of new adventure that confused me, let me say, so I don't have any kind of chance. The 6th game was amazing too because there are 4-1, so a very good result to strange deck, to off meta deck, because IG88 yellow, I never saw it, and my opponent was a French person, very, very, very interesting, very kind, very funny, but I swarm more than him. So he never used the power of the leader. I can control the leader with the Procon, so it was quite easy for me. The problem starts in 7 game with Django attacking
The
down.
problem starts, but it's also ended
But
with today.
yes. Today something changes because I have some way to beat Django, Commandeer, Zoop down, Electronic Pulse in the side, but I have to see it and have to see in the right moment. No, the Juggernaut, it's a very big problem for this kind of deck because I make a lot of unit, but if a single unit can exhaust of my unit is a problem. And the 2 game with Django, let me say, was very similar, no? Simple Django strategy and without any, let me say, not so many ways for me to stop it. The Queen Run, as you can see also in the side event of the day after, it's a good matchup because the list that was in Iran for Queen Run doesn't have any 1 resources unit.
Yeah.
So usually in the first turn I put 2 units, Queensland put just 1 without using the power, and we can go ahead during the match without using a lot of his power. So for me, let me say, in my opinion, is a good matchup. So I beat him 3 times 2-0 without not so many problems. So I'm very happy about this matchup. Boba Yellow and Quinlan Talking Town was the matchup that I prepared more, and I'm happy about the results. In the side of the Sunday, Piet Colossus was a problem, because if Piet Lamp, it's a problem, and some ship, it's a problem for me. Wele is the best card maybe in this matchup to remove problem just for a turn, but push all the damage possible in that turn. And the first game versus Ryuk Pilot, SCR was a very interesting game because it was a strange list, let me say, a more mid-control deck of Ryuk, so I'm not totally prepared about this kind of matchup. So totally, my deck is very funny to play, with a lot of line strategy. We can go wide, we can go with the new Millennium with 3 pilots, so a very, very big unit. To have leader unit in the space was amazing. It's funny because we have every turn something to play. We have a lot of smuggle way to use all the cards, because one of the problem of this leader is you can burn the card. And if you flip the leader and lead a lot of resources with no card in the hands, you are not using your leader. So it's important to use all the resources possible.
Okay, very, very interesting. So, let's start about talking about the cards. So
Yeah.
we go straight. So the first set cards we talk a little bit more less, and we talk about the fourth set. So
Okay.
let's start with ground 1 and 2 cost drop.
Okay. It's one drop, just a single survive for two drop. Yes. Just some words about Chopper. Is from first set, but it's very important because we have all the meta decks have 10, 15 events.
Yeah,
So if I can exhaust a single time a resource with the Chopper, Chopper is an MVP of the game. Uh, an important unit, one drop, is L2D2 Pilot, because a very flexible unit. It's one of the piece of the combo for the new Millennium. The other one drop, the Soldier of 500 first, is a good drop, but I choose it as for the Republic E-Wing that we can say in space, just for the body, just because I need one drop, one resources drop. There are 15 because I need to start with two, one
yeah,
resources drop. C3PO is the plan B if I don't see the double or first one resources drop, I start with C3PO and start to draw and draw and draw and draw. So it's the plan B, and also during the game can be a good way to complete the curve of resources in
yeah.
that spot and continue to draw.
I have a question. You can use also the power of fun if you don't have units in board.
Yes, because it's a free pass.
Okay, so you can
And
use in the start of the game, use a bit of fun and play C3PO.
yeah. So starting from first turn, I can recover the card that I use, and I have a very big end and a lot of possibilities. Yeah, that is very important. But also in next turns, it's important to have a free pass in some way.
Yeah.
Consider that with this kind of deck, you never have the initiative. Because if you have
Oh
more
yeah, yeah,
units than the opponent, you don't have the initiative, so it's not a problem to lose the initiative.
yeah. Hmm, very very interesting. Okay, let's talk about the space. The only
Yeah.
one drop. We don't have two drops.
Yeah. The space is important for this deck because we need a vehicle to use the pilot.
Yeah.
So also in the space we need several units from the first turn. My best starting is to have a unit from the space and a unit on the ground to go in two different arena and start with my plan. But it's very important to have a lot of unit in the space to be ready to flip the leader in one of your vehicles.
Okay. And now we talk about the drop at 3.
Okay, for me, this is not drop of three. For me, Cassianando is the drop of five
Oh yeah.
because I use from the Smuggle, and Tech usually is a drop of four. And is the best card to have in my resources when I start the flip tour, the 205 resources. Because if I have the Millennium Falcon from first set, I have just 4 resources ready. So if I want to use all of them, Tech is a solution. If not, Cassian Andor is a damage that the opponent doesn't know, doesn't expect, so it's very important for me. So let me say, the curve is quite strange because for me, this is not drop of 3. It's drop for late game, but they have good body, especially Cassian Andor. So in some cases, when I am a bit, let me say, not so happy with my cards, Cassian Andor can be used also at 3 resources unit.
Okay, okay. So the Smuggle, you love Smuggle. I love Smuggle also.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the free cost drop, especially the Centurion Sator and the Millennium Falcon, the new Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, these cards are the core of the deck, in my opinion, because it's a space deck with a low curve, so the 3 cost drop can be used also as 6 resources to make 2 drop in a single turn. The Sanctuary Shuttle is one of my favorite cards of the game. I used it also in my previous deck. because if I start with 2 unit at turn 1, at turn 2, I can capture a unit with Sanctuary Shutter.
Oh,
So the best plan for me is one drop in the space, one drop in the ground. Next turn, the opponent go in bases, I hope, to avoid a trade with so little unit. Then I can capture with the sanctioner shutter, then ping the unit that the opponent plays at 3 resources with one of my 1 resources drop, then you start in town. So the best situation for me is to end the second turn with 3 units versus 0.
wow.
In that case, the game is good for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The new Millennium is an amazing card in this kind of deck because if I don't want or I can't go wide with several units, I can build a very, very big unit with the new Millennium Falcon. Because this card starts with the possibility to have 2 pilots on it. And one is the leader, no? So I
Yeah.
have one for sure. The second one could be the Unsolo Pilot, the legendary of new set, that is amazing. And F2D2 is a pilot too, at 0 resources. So in the best situation, I can have 3 pilot on it, with a unit that with just 5 resources, at turn of 5 resources, is a 12-12 leader unit in the space. So it's very hard to beat it, for sure. Very weak against cards that defeat upgrade, but it's a risk that I can cover. Red 3 and the Old Millennium, it's a very interesting, especially Red 3, because Red 3 can, usually I don't want to use it at the second turn. I
Yeah.
want to use it at 5 or 6 resources to have a passive bonus to all the cards that I have on the board, no?
Yeah.
So at third resources, I prefer to have Sectional Shuttle, at 4 the new Millennium Falcon, maybe a 5 the old Millennium Falcon, and the turn of 6 resources the Red 3.
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's a linear combo, so
Yeah,
but there is
yeah.
something choices to do, so it's beautiful this. And
Okay, thanks.
we pass the 4 drop and we go to the 5 drop.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hate
No, no
that
for
card.
drop. Yeah,
Plo
yeah.
Koon.
Yeah. The event card is not good for me, so I simple pass away the four resources drop. And solo pilot is a very interesting, especially for pilot, no?
Yeah.
2 resources pilot, so I have also another kind of combo to use in the flip turn reader, because in flip turn reader I can have at maximum 10 resources, no?
Yeah.
5 plus 5 that I can flip. The best situation for me is in the turn use Cassian Andor from the Smuggler, then the old Millennium Falcon, then Unsolo Pilot on the new Millennium
Wow.
Falcon. There are 8 damages that are not on the board at the start of the turn, and the opponent doesn't know that it's arriving. Plo Koon, several people hate this card, me too, but it's a very interesting card with this kind of deck because I activate Coordinate more or less in every game because I have a lot of unit to play, and in combo with Red 3 is the other way to kill the leader and the unit with 7 HP.
Yeah.
And also this kind of combo can be done during the flip reader because there are 8 resources, but I can have 8 resources in the flip of the reader. So is the plan B against Django, was the plan B against Django, is the plan B against Anakin and so on, Tot and Solo from set 1. So it's very important to have this kind of card in some matchup.
Okay. And let's talk about the events. So, Commandeer, Relay, Zoom Down.
Okay, as I told, Zoop Down is for me one of the most important cards in this deck because if I focus on the space, I have some way to face the menace from the ground.
Yeah.
Zoop Down is one of these situations. During the sector, I kill several leaders with this card. Also cut Bane without any kind of damage in return because it's less 2 in damage. And consider that with leader, in every game that I can flip the reader in one of the vehicle, I have a unit with 4 or 5 or more on attack. So it's very simple to kill a unit that 7 or 8 HP. Were is one of the best uh, card that can remove a sentinel in this game. So
Yeah.
if someone put a very big sentinel in the space, it's a problem for me because I have several little units, so it's not simple to face a sentinel in the space, and Were can solve a problem for a turn, but in some match one turn is enough. Commandeer is another card that can make a very good swing in the arena, in the space arena, because I can steal a card for a single turn, attack, and remove. So it's a way plus a good advantage for me if I use in a 6 cost card is amazing. If I use when the opponent use sneak attack or triple dark light is a very good solution to avoid problem and to change the situation. Let me say, maybe with the last news, Commandeer is less important, but is a very, very interesting card, and also is a 5 cost card. So in the flip turn reader can be the additional card that I can play in the turn. So when I use all my resources, I can also steal a unit from the opponent. So it's very, very
Yeah.
interesting.
It's interesting. We talk about the ban news after these
Okay,
cards.
okay, okay. Sorry for the spoiler.
And let's talk about the upgrades. Hotshot Blaster.
Yes, yes, the Shot Blaster is another smuggle card. So the core of the smuggle is the Shot Blaster and the Cassianando, then tech as an additional, because if I go in late, I don't have card that cost more than 5. So the smuggle card can offer more and more options. I don't have several ground units, but in some spot the hot shot could be interesting. If all the plan is going not so good, I have to flip the reader on the ground arena, is a 3-7. It's not so good, but with hot shot become a 5-7 reader unit. It's better to push the last damage.
Yeah.
If I go very, very late at 8 resources, I can also play in the same turn Cassianando and Hotshot. All in the flip turn, I can use Cassianando and Hotshot, so more damage that the opponent doesn't. So one of my preferred strategy in this game, and I have also in my previous deck, is to create damage from the nothing.
Yeah.
No?
It's very, very beautiful.
Yeah, we tried.
Okay, let's talk about very quickly about the sideboard.
Yes, the sideboard is more or less for events. We have Electromagnetic Pulse, that is a very interesting card, especially against Sneak Attack, because with just 1 resources you ruin all the plan of the opponent, but also in the situation that I have a very, very big ship or vehicle, no? Just 1 resources, and the problem is in next turn. Gen Communication is a card, is a risky card. When I use during the sector, I never saw an event, no? But if I see an event for 1 resource, I can discard it. It's very, very interesting. A ramp, a way to remove one of my cards, so it's good. Zoop Down and Commandeer is in 1 pair, and in some matchup I want to adjust the curve, no? There are
Yeah.
two per 2, both of them I want to make 3 pair. The Disabling Fighter is a card that is very, very interesting against Bosk or against all the pilot reader, and considering that I'm not so sure about the meta before and after the sector, for me it's important to have in sideboard a tech card that can solve some particular matchup, because I have several little units. If I face a Bosk, could be a problem. This card can solve a problem.
Yeah. Also, the sideboard can change every week,
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
every hour. Now I think we'll change with the ban
Yeah.
of Django
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
for
end.
sure, for sure.
So
I have to think about it. Yeah.
yeah. But before we talk about this, let's draw some cards.
Okay.
We see some six draw of
Yeah.
your deck, and you tell us if you take or you do a mulligan, and
Okay.
what cards you put in the resources against control or aggro, or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
So the first one is R2D2, Soldier of
Mhm.
this 500 in
500.
double copy, Republic Wing, Unsullied, Legendary, and Millennium Falcon Old set 1.
Okay. I like these cards, no? Because the most important thing is to have two drop to use in first turn. Four maybe is not so good because it's a lot, but I will take it and I will resources one, two, one drop for ground.
Okay.
So depend on the matchup. Maybe if I have an opponent with several indirect damage, I will resources the two copy of the soldier of 500 first and use the 2d2. If I want to go more on the basis, I prefer to have ride one,
Yeah.
so a 2-3 in attack. The Republic wing is important to start with space unit. No? I have the second turn, maybe I have also the third turn, so it's a good starting cards.
Okay. Let's talk about the second. Another soldier, the Centurion Shuttle, C3PO, Hotshot, R2D2, and Commandeer.
Okay, I also take these ends
Okay.
because when I saw the first turn with two drop and Sanctuary Shuttle, I will take for sure.
Okay.
This is not the perfect end because I have two units on the ground and I prefer to have one on the ground and one on the space at the first turn, but the Sanctuary Shuttle can be an answer for a lot of situations. About the resources, for sure, Hotshot,
Yeah.
because yes, it's a smuggle, it's ready for smuggle. The other cards depend on the matchup. Maybe I will resources Commandeer, because 5 resources is a lot of time
Yeah.
after, and C3PO can solve a problem in case the opponent want to trade one of my unit. If the opponent trade one of my unit, the Sanctuary Shuttle is not good at all. It's a 2-3 in the space without effect, it's not good at all. So I can have a plan B with C3PO, and if I am lucky, I can use also another drop one
Yeah.
that I find with C3PO.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Very, very interesting. Okay, let's talk about the torso. The card to quote, Millennium Falcon set 1, R2D2. R2D2 is everywhere, Wele,
Yeah.
Han Solo, and the Millennium Falcon of set 4.
Okay, I want that you will take my hand in my real game because I will take also this kind of hand. Yes, because I can start the combo with
Yeah.
this kind of hand. No, not the complete one because I will use for sure to teach you as unit. No, but I have a second turn with the new Millennium Falcon and a third turn with Han Solo unit for sure. And so unit as pilot. So maybe as starting ends, I will resources with a bit of suffering the old Millennium Falcon and the WLA. Because the old Millennium Falcon, I don't like to use it here in the game. Because the tax to pay
Yeah.
every turn is not so good with this kind of deck. I don't have full resources drop, but I want to have to use all my resources every turn.
Okay. Let's start with the last one. With no R2D2, Millennium Falcon set 1, Cassenendo, Chopper, Carter Tuncoat, Commandeer, and other Millennium Falcon set 1.
Okay, maybe I will maintain also this end. No,
Okay.
is maybe not good at the other because, as I told you, if I use the Millennium Falcon on turn 2, I don't know if I have a unit to use. No,
Yeah.
so maybe in this situation I will not resource in the first turn Cassianando,
Okay.
but maintain it to better understand if I want to go ground with a 3-5 or I want to go space with the old Millennium. Chopper is a very good starting unit. And I prefer it to F2D2, no? So this is one of my best situation at starting end because I can have the best one resources drop in ground, that for me is chopper, and the best one resources unit in space that the card tank out because the bounties, I don't see the bounty with a so big problem in this kind of deck. I want to close very, very fast. So, okay, draw the card if you want to remove my one resources drop. Commandeer, maybe I'm a bit affected in considering the news, but Commandeer I will resources too because it's too early to have in the end. And let me say, I have also tech. So in case
Yeah, yeah.
game wild and I find tech, I can use it.
Okay, and this is the deck in all, and I have some two questions. So,
Yeah.
first one, with the new balance, what do you change in this deck?
Oh, I have to think about it for sure. Maybe Commandeer is not. I'm not totally think that Commandeer can be in the main deck. It's too copy. Maybe I can use. I don't know. I don't have. I have just 3 event cards. No, that is C3PO. But in some cases, maybe another card as event with event cost could be not a problem. No, so some event that can push more damage or another unit. There are several 3 drops unit very interesting. For example, Ezra that was in combo with the chopper. I can see the card, so I can understand if the power of the reader can be used and so on. Zoom down I will maintain. So maybe in this hour that I have to think about the new suspension, the new ban list, Commandeer is the card that maybe I can lose from the main deck. The side maybe can change because I want to understand which type of deck can be used now. I think that, let me say, the suspension list affect Django that disappeared and Double Yellow. That is the only 2 deck that I use during the main event of Sector. So you have to think how to answer to the other deck now. But yes, I think that this list can be fun, and it with this news can have also some good results. So I hope that after this video, several people can trade and help us to upgrade it because I think that it can be upgraded, but it's a very fun and a very strong list.
Yeah, let's talk about in the comments or in our server Discord.
Yeah.
So, I think we have finished. So thank you for joining us, and remember, give a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, Jaffo,
Yeah.
and bye bye.
Thank you to Doubt Player for this opportunity. Bye.
Bye bye.